Fantasyland, the happiest kingdom of them all.
In this video, I'm going to be talking all things Fantasyland because Disneyland really wouldn't be what it is without it. I'm talking rides, food, characters, and everything in between. So let's forget about our worries, if not only for just a moment, and allow ourselves to get lost in the magic of Fantasyland. Let's get started. Fantasyland didn't always look like it does today. In the summer of 1955, you would have experienced a Renaissance fair themed land with one ride on top of the other, bustling with energy, and I'm sure very little shade. Then, in the 1980s, Fantasyland was renovated to be more spread out and look more like an old European village. This is the Fantasyland you experience today. Now, when I'm talking Fantasyland, what am I actually talking about? Fantasyland is actually one of the most expansive lands in Disneyland, and a major marker of where it starts is Sleeping Beauty Castle. From the castle, it fans out a bit, then out to the Matterhorn, continuing all the way back to It's a Small World, and then back behind the castle is where the majority of the land lies. It has 12 rides within it, and plenty of entertainment options. It's where you can find many of your favorite princesses and classic Disney characters. You'll find 3 different eateries, 9 snack stands, and 4 gift shops, as well as 4 bathrooms. From Fantasyland, you can connect to Tomorrowland, Frontierland, Galaxy's Edge, Main Street, and Toontown. Actually, you have to walk through Fantasyland to even get to Toontown. It connects to nearly every land in the park. Long story short, if you're skipping Fantasyland, you're missing out on a lot. Let's talk rides first. I don't really want to give this secret away, but I'm going to. Fantasyland is a great place to rope drop, and by rope drop, I mean be there first thing in the morning when the park opens. Although, contrary to what almost everybody else says, I would not rope drop the Peter Pan ride. The thing is, Fantasyland isn't super busy besides the usual crowds that rush to the Peter Pan ride first thing in the morning. Everywhere else is going to be pretty chill for the first 2 hours of the day. And all the rides will be virtual walk-ons most days in the morning. Plus, the rides are so close to each other that it's really easy to hop on a lot of rides in a short amount of time. By mid-afternoon, Fantasyland gets quite crowded and will remain so until late at night near closing time. So I always like to do Fantasyland rides first thing in the morning or at the end of the night, and honestly, those are the most magical times anyway. Okay, let's talk specific rides now. Starting when you're entering the land through the Sleeping Beauty Castle, on the right is Peter Pan's Flight. A fun, whimsical ride that makes you feel like you're flying in a pirate ship, gazing down on the sights from the movie Peter Pan. The queue for this ride is mostly exposed, and a tight space amongst others in the line. It's very rare you'll see the wait time less than 35 minutes for this ride, but usually it's between 45 and 65 minutes. This is why I say don't waste that magical first hour of the park opening waiting for this ride, because you'll miss the other ride's short wait times. Wait times aside, it is a fun, cute little ride. Over to your left is Snow White's Enchanted Wish. Since its 2021 reboot, this ride is no longer spooky like it used to be. It's a fun storyline-style dark ride that's perfect for the first-time ride-goers, like toddlers and small children, to warm them up and get them ready for those bigger rides later on in the day. On most days, you'll see a line wait time under 30 minutes for this ride. Next door to Snow White is Pinocchio's Daring Journey. Similar to the Snow White ride, it is a storyline style dark ride, although it does have a darker undertone to the ride overall. It can be a little spooky at times. Usually this ride has about a 20-minute or less wait on any moderately busy day. Across the way is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, where you feel as though you're driving a 1940s car recklessly through a British small town before being found guilty by a judge, crashing with a train, and finding yourself in HE double hockey sticks, if you know what I mean. The wait time for this ride is usually fairly short and in a shaded area. This ride is secretly the best and our family's favorite. In the middle of it all is King Arthur's Carousel. It's your typical carousel, with almost always less than a 10-minute wait. History buffs can relish in this original 1920s carousel that's been beautifully maintained. If you look closely, you may find Julie Andrews' signature on one of the horses. And if you're lucky, you may find yourself on the ride with a live accompaniment and possibly even Mary Poppins herself. Tucked back in the corner a bit, by the snack stands, you have the Casey Jr. Circus train. You may find yourself bending in half and contorting to get into one of these caged carts as you ride around in this circus-themed train. Designed in the stylings of the Dumbo movie, this ride is a park original that is nostalgic and a have-to for some, and a hard pass for others. Speaking of Dumbo, you have the Dumbo the Flying Elephant ride. The ride experience is self-explanatory. It makes for a great Disneyland photo op, and again is original to the park's opening. In fact, most of the remaining rides that were original to the park's opening can be found in Fantasyland. The line wait times tend to get longer and longer throughout the day, so I suggest hopping on it first thing in the morning before it gets too long. Another original and classic ride that is, in my opinion, the most beautiful to photograph is the ever so nauseating Teacups, also known as the Mad Tea Party. A spin until you barf type of ride whose soundtrack echoes through Fantasyland, creating such a fun and magical ambiance. Interesting fact, this ride is actually pretty ADA friendly, with a special cup that allows for an easier transition from a wheelchair, as well as stools and separate wheelchair-friendly access points so everyone can join in the magic.
Waving to strangers.
And if you're lucky, you may even catch a parade while you're on the ride.
He's a dragon. Everyone say hello, Elliot. Always the first Quality to be here tonight. If you think it's hard to say about your Quality, you should try to start it sometime.
Next to the Teacups is another sweet little dark ride, Alice in Wonderland, that takes you through the colorful and imaginative world of Alice in Wonderland. The line for this ride can get quite long, so I suggest hitting it in the early morning or late at night. On the other side of the Teacups is the Storybook Canal ride, where you hop on board a little boat and glide along the canal, listening to live commentary of miniature models of classic Disney stories and as long as they can handle the initial part of being swallowed up by a whale, little ones will enjoy this pleasant little ride. Because this ride doesn't have a large ride capacity, the line can get quite long, so if you see a short wait for this ride, jump on it immediately.
In this case, there's sidewalk coming up on the left in his cave. He's always after those three little pigs to the right, so the three little pigs go three lessons, one of sticks, one of straw, one of guaranteed both for
Across the way, and the only thrill ride to be found in Fantasyland, is the Matterhorn bobsleds. This is an old-school tubular-style roller coaster that sends you racing through the Alps, and it's a chiropractor's dream come true. Morning is when you'll see the shortest lines, but it's a fun one at night as well. Even if you don't ride this ride, simply walking past will be a delight as you listen to the sounds of nature and the pleasant crisp air that surrounds it. Just beware of Yetis. Lastly, in the back of Fantasyland, you'll find It's a Small World. Originally made for the World's Fair in the 1960s, it eventually made its way to Disneyland and into our hearts. The song for this ride gets a bad rap due to its repetitive nature, but it carries a message of peace and love that will ring true always. It's a world of laughter, a world of tears, it's a world of hope, and a world of fears. There's so much that we share that it's time we're aware. It's a small world after all. This ride generally has short wait times, with a few exceptions. One is usually after a show gets out at the Fantasyland Theater, and the other is during the holidays at night. Here's a tip. The ride is the exact same at night as it is during the day, so if you're at Disneyland during the holidays, ride It's a Small World during the day when the line is short, and then take your pictures and photograph the outside of the ride when it's spectacular at night. Just a quick reminder, if you like this video, consider giving it a like. And if you'd like to see more from my channel, click that subscribe button to stay up to date. You can also find me on Instagram now at how_Disneyland. And now back to your program. Let's talk characters, since Fantasyland is one of the best places to find characters, especially if you're looking for a princess. During the morning is the best time to come across all different kinds of characters wandering throughout the land, but there are a few places that almost always have characters ready for a meet and greet. Let's go over a few of them. In front of the castle, close to the Matterhorn, there is a garden walkthrough where you can find Tinkerbell on most days. Always check the Disneyland app for exact times. This meet and greet is possibly one of the cutest in the entire park, but it is hidden away so it's easy to miss. If you have any Tinkerbell fans in your group, this is an absolute must-do.
And all my decorations over here. Do you remember this last thingy that my friend's parents got for me? And he called it a shark thingy? Is this what a shark to do? You think so? You could feel it.
At the Royal Hall, tucked down next to the castle, you can meet several princesses. Your group will be taken through the hallway where you'll find princess after princess to chat with and get your picture taken with. Even the area around the Royal Hall will have characters out milling about throughout the day. This is usually where you can find a lot of the gentleman characters. And over by the Alice in Wonderland ride, you'll often come by Alice and some of her crazy friends. Every once in a while, you may also find Sleeping Beauty down by Snow White's wishing well. If you'd like to know more about characters, I suggest checking out my How to Disneyland Toddlers and Babies video. I'll leave a link for it at the end of this video. how can we not talk about the food? In Fantasyland, you have 3 main food options along with many snack options. First is the Red Rose Tavern, where you can either mobile order or order at the counter, then find a table and enjoy your breakfast, lunch, or dinner in the hub of Disneyland. I'd call the food European-inspired American food, with the highlight being, of course, the gray stuff. Next is the Troubadour Tavern by the Fantasyland Theater, which is doing showings of The Lion King right now, so you will find African-inspired flavors at this grab-and-go eatery. You'll find spiced popcorn, baked potatoes, sambusas, and much more. Across from the Matterhorn, you'll find Edelweiss Snacks, where you can grab yourself a cold beverage, a bratwurst, corn on the cob, and yes, even one of those enormous, massive, terrifying turkey legs. Don't judge me, my daughter loves to eat meat. And by the Royal Hall, you'll find Maurice's Treats. This is another grab-and-go place where you will find all things bread, and my personal favorite, the Boysen Apple Freeze. Additionally, throughout the park, you'll find churro stands, with the one in front of Sleeping Beauty's castle always having the best seasonal flavors out of all of them, consistently fueling my churro addiction. Of course, popcorn stands can be found throughout the area, as well as pretzel carts that sell those infamous Mickey Mouse pretzels that everyone loves. A lemonade stand for those hot Disneyland days, and a fruit and snack stand for those times when you feel like spending way too much money on a really basic snack for your kids. Fantasyland is full of entertainment, from passing by street shows to full-on theater productions. It has everything. For a kid-friendly theater setting show, you can head over to the Royal Theater for an entertaining retelling of one of Disney's classic princess stories.
Bonjour, Mademoiselle Belle.
Bonjour, Mr. Jones and Mr. Smiley.
Bonjour, and welcome to the Royal Theatre.
I am so excited to be here
And for an absolutely amazing show, head over to the Fantasyland Theater for a live rendition of The Lion King. This is a perfect place to get out of the weather and off your feet while you enjoy a newly updated storytelling of The Lion King that bids a beautiful tribute to African culture. I don't have any recent footage of the show because the last time I watched it, I was enjoying it so much I didn't record. But I do have some clips from when it was originally in DCA, so enjoy. You can catch any of the parades coming from It's a Small World and down the main walkway between Teacups and Matterhorn. This is a great area to find a last-minute spot for parade watching. And in the evenings, you can usually catch a projection show on It's a Small World. Currently, they have an Encanto theme, but you can also catch a fun holiday show during November and December as well. Finally, you'll find some of the best viewing spots for the fireworks shows in Fantasyland, including at the Red Rose Tavern, by It's a Small World, and of course right in front of Sleeping Beauty's castle. Because I have so much footage of all the fun entertainment, I'm going to close out this video with a few samples of what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy. again for watching. Be kind to each other. Feel free to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more from me. And we'll see you again real soon.